Hey, how are you? Tiff Marshall here, and I want to share some social media tips that will help churches in this season and in the next season, right? So we understand now the importance of having a social presence. We understand the importance of having a digital presence. For years, about 5 or 6 years, I've been encouraging so many faith leaders, so many pastors, so many faith-based non-profit organizations to get online, get on social media. And I literally had, many say, oh, it's not time for social media. Social media is the devil. If people want to attend church, they'll just come, they won't stay home. But I'm so excited because this is the innovation that the church, the people, the body has been yearning for. So tip number one is to make sure that you properly set up your platforms. So understand what platforms your church should be on. And when I say platforms, I mean social media platform or social media account. So, and do what you can handle. If your church does not have the capacity to have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter account, don't do all three. And especially if you're listening to me right now and you are the pastor or faith leader and you are managing the social media, if you're handling the social media, you don't need to do all that. It's just way too much for you. Okay, so make sure you properly set up your platforms, sync them all together. Number two, properly name your platforms. You want to be very specific with the name. Like, you are not the only Antioch, you are not the only Mount Moriah, you're not the only St. John. There are so many churches, so be specific with your church name, and especially if you have more than one campus, right? So you can be ABC Church South Campus, ABC Church West Campus, wherever you are, or you put your city. But it's important to be very specific, because one thing that you don't want are your first time visitors rolling up to the wrong church or waking up excited to attend your church and they cannot find who you are, where you are. So when you properly set up your platforms, make sure your name is specific. Complete the About Me section, because that's very important. It's also searchable. I can talk about that in another video. But be sure that your address is correct. Make sure your address is specific. Okay, don't assume that people know where you are located. Type it correctly. If it's Northwest, Southwest, 19th Street, make sure you put all of that in on your page when you set it up. And also in the About Me section, put the the pastor's name or pastor's name, co-pastor, whatever it may be. Be very specific, because sometimes people may not know the name of your church, but they know the name of the pastor or they've heard of the pastor. So make sure that that information is complete. Okay. Number three, I put 2 and 3 together. Ain't that good? Number four, prepare before Sunday. It's so important to understand that there's a lot of preparation that should take place before Sunday morning service. There's a lot that takes place in ministry. Ministry is not just a Sunday or Saturday morning thing. There's a lot that should take place before. I always encourage, churches to build your media team. You need your digital media team, and you also need your media team that is, in your church, operating the cameras and all that good stuff. So you have to prepare. Know what the order of service is going to be. Know what's first, what's second, or kind of know the flow. It may not flow the same way every Sunday, but have some awareness of what will take place, because you want to post, you want to produce content that's going to make people excited about walking through your door, or make people excited about watching you online. You have to drip content to make them excited. So prepare. And I should probably do another video about that specifically. And the next tip, number 5, feed your people after. So you want to prepare people for Sunday, and you want to feed them after Sunday. So it's a great time to help people eat off of the word throughout the week, based on the sermon that was delivered on Saturday. If you go to church on Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes, listen, whenever you go to church, you want people to feed on the sermon throughout the week after the sermon. Because guess what? Sometimes we get so excited, we enjoy the sermon, and then you ask some people what the sermon was about, girl, I don't know, we just had a good time. That's not what you want. So your social media can help people stay informed, and they also, will anticipate the next time service comes around. And lastly, you want to train your people. It is so important to train your people. So what do I mean by train your people? When you set up your platforms, and even if you haven't done so yet, even if you have your platforms up, but if you haven't done this, you need to do it. You gotta tell your people to like your page. Because guess what? They may be filling up the pew, sitting in your seats, or viewing online, but they may not have liked your page. So make sure you tell them. You have to constantly tell them to like, share, follow. Like, share, follow. Like, share, follow. Like, you have to do it over and over. Like, you might even have to do a literal demonstration. And church, put the page up on the screens. Have your young people help out their parents. And make sure have the young people help out their parents. Make sure that they know exactly how to access the page, when they view you online, have your lower third up, or make sure you verbally ask them, like this, tag your friend, share. You have to train your people and teach them on what to do, because you don't want to assume that they know what to do. You have to ask them to like, and there are many ways that you can do this. Some pastors are even comfortable. They say, oh, that's a good point there. They'll be teaching and say, oh, that's a good point. You need to tweet that. You need to tweet that. So I've had, a lot of fun training pastors on that, and just, teaching them how to remind their audience to react online. And it's okay if people, use their phone in service, or if they tweet when they get home, or post a message about when they get home. Some people, it feels so good at the moment, they'll post online and throw their phone away. Whatever works. If you're really good and you're holding their attention, if the pastor or, is good, people won't be so into their social media. So you don't have to worry about that. And it's okay to set social media rules for your sanctuary. And that's a whole nother topic to discuss. But train your people so that they know where to find you. And it's important that you teach them how to engage. And once they do that, you will start to see that your digital media presence grows, your pages will grow, your engagement will improve. All that's great, but don't assume. Teach people how to find you. Make sure they like the page, because you need them to like your content, not just on Sunday, but throughout the week as well. So these are some quick tips for social media startup for churches. I hope you enjoy. Be sure to like, share, comment. If you have any questions, drop them below or send me a message.